I was still holding my mother's framed photo when my phone lit up with my father's message. Flight delayed. Won't make it back in time for the funeral. You'll have to handle everything, kiddo. The funeral. My mother's funeral. My stomach turned cold. The air in the church felt thick, humid with grief and whispers. Candles flickered at the altar. My aunt's sobs cracked through the quiet like broken glass. But my eyes were fixed on that message. He was traveling. During her funeral. I stared at my phone until the text blurred. A strange thought, one that I instantly hated, slid into my head like a blade. He's not alone. The absent dad was supposed to be in London for a business conference. He'd left a few days before Mom's sudden stroke, promising to cut his trip short if anything serious happened. But when she passed, he didn't come home. He said flights were impossible to find last minute. Even as the coffin lowered into the ground, I kept glancing at the church doors, half expecting him to burst in, disheveled, desperate, grief-stricken. But he didn't. After the service, my mother's best friend, Mrs. Khan, approached me with tear-glazed eyes. "Your father must be devastated," she said. "Yeah," I muttered. Taking it hard. But as I said it, I remembered how calm his voice sounded on the phone that morning. Too calm. The call that night, I sat alone in Mom's old reading room. The house still smelled faintly like her, jasmine lotion and coffee. I pressed Dad's number. He picked up on the second ring. "Hey, sweetheart," he said, voice warm, rehearsed. "How was it?" "How was it?" I repeated. My throat tightened. It was Mom's funeral, Dad. It was hell. He sighed. "I'm sorry. I really am. The flights." "Don't," I interrupted. "Don't talk about flights." There was silence. Then, faintly, a woman's laugh in the background. Soft. Carefree. My pulse spiked. "Who's that?" I asked. "What?" He sounded startled. "No one. Just TV in the lounge." But there was no echo of a television. No clinking glasses. No hum of an airport. Just a woman's laughter, real, close, intimate. I hung up before I said something I couldn't take back. The photo. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I checked his social media, something I hadn't done in years. His profile was private, but I found a tagged photo on a colleague's account. Posted 8 hours ago. My dad, smiling under golden lights, his hand resting on a woman's lower back. A rooftop bar. Her red dress shimmered. His wedding ring was missing. The caption read, "Best night in Paris." Paris. Not London. Not delayed. Not mourning. The world tilted. The glass in my hand slipped, shattering against the floor. The Mistress. I couldn't stop myself. I tracked down the woman's profile. Her name was Lara. I recognized her vaguely. She used to be Dad's assistant before Mom got sick. Always hovering too close, too eager to please. Her latest story was a video from the same night. Champagne. Laughter. My father's voice, undeniable, saying, "To new beginnings." I slammed my phone down. New beginnings. While my mother was buried. For hours I sat on the edge of her bed, numb, then angry, then numb again. My thoughts swung wildly. Maybe she was just a co-worker. Maybe the picture meant nothing. But deep down, I knew. He'd chosen not to come home because he didn't want to face what he'd done, to Mom, to me. The confrontation when he finally returned 3 days later, I met him at the airport. He looked rested. Tanned. The guilt in his eyes wasn't sharp, it was shallow, like he'd rehearsed this scene in his head 100 times. He dropped his suitcase, pulled me into a hug. "I missed you, kiddo." I didn't hug him back. "Did you miss Mom, too?" His smile faltered. "Of course I did." "Then why were you in Paris, Dad?" He froze. His pupils constricted. "Who told you that?" "I saw the pictures." For a long moment, he didn't say anything. Then, quietly, "It wasn't what you think." "It looked like you were celebrating," I snapped. While I buried her alone. His jaw clenched. "She was gone, Emma. Nothing I did could change that." "That's your excuse." I whispered. You cheated while she was dying, and you couldn't even pretend to care when she was gone. He took a step back. You don't understand. Your mother and I, we were broken long before that. Then why didn't you leave? Because I loved her in my own way, he said. And because I didn't want you to hate me. I laughed, a hollow, shaking sound. Too late. The revelation that night, while he slept in the guest room, I found his phone charging on the kitchen counter. I shouldn't have, but I did. The messages between him and Lara dated back months. They talked about trips, inside jokes, love. But one message froze my blood. She's getting worse. I can't keep living like this. Then maybe it's time, Lara replied. She's suffering anyway. The date was 1 week before Mom's stroke. My knees buckled. My heart thundered so loud it drowned out thought. Did they mean what I thought they meant? I printed the messages before he could wake. The night of reckoning when I confronted him, his face drained of color. Emma, listen, he stammered. That's not what it looks like. Then explain it, I said, holding up the pages. Explain why you were talking about ending her suffering a week before she died. She was in pain, he said quickly. Your mom begged me not to keep her on life support if something happened. Lara she reminded me of that. Reminded you? I hissed. She was part of the conversation. Tears welled in his eyes. I didn't kill her, Emma. But I wanted it to be over. For both of us. The admission hung in the air like smoke. I saw the truth then, not of murder, but of betrayal so deep it twisted mercy into convenience. He hadn't killed my mother. But he'd stopped loving her long before she died. And when she finally did, he'd felt something close to relief. The choice a week later, I packed my bags. He begged me to stay. Said we could heal together. But I couldn't live in the same house where he'd kissed my mother goodbye while loving someone else in secret. As I left, he stood on the porch, trembling. You'll understand someday, he said. Love isn't simple. I turned back just once. You're right, I said. But loyalty is. The twist 3 months later, I received a package with no return address. Inside was my mother's old journal, one I'd never seen before. The last entry, dated a month before her death, read, He thinks I don't know about her. But I do. I've known for months. I just want him to be happy, even if it's not with me. I hope he doesn't carry the guilt forever. Tell Emma to forgive him, when she's ready. Tears blurred the ink. My hands shook as I realized. Mom knew. She'd known. And somehow, she'd loved him anyway. That night, I placed the journal on her grave, whispered a promise to try to forgive, but never to forget. As the wind rustled through the trees, I thought I could almost hear her voice. It's time to let go, Emma. And for the first time since the funeral, I did.